to talk about less is more. And I want to kind of bring out how sometimes we overthink things with cards, and that makes it harder for us to succeed. If we could stay simple, it would normally be a lot easier to get our design done. So today I'm going to show you how easy it is to just make a design in 2 colors using 1 stamp, 1 ink, and a couple of neutral colors. So I have a piece of black cardstock that I have cut in a square format. I've also cut out of it 2 squares, a little smaller than the card. One, this is the cherry cobbler, and on top of that I'm going to put just regular old Whisper White. So Whisper White, cherry cobbler, and black are going to be my colors. And I'm going to embellish this card only with some cherry cobbler inseam ribbon. This ribbon is extraordinarily wonderful. I have extra white and cranberry for the inside of my card. And this way, when I open the card, I actually can write a message and it looks coherent. Okay, so here's all I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of our brand new stamps, and this is Christmas Collage, and so it's in the mini catalog and it's awesome. The thing I want to say about this stamp is not only you don't have to stamp it all in one, you don't have to find something that is all one piece, and that's what I'm going to show you today with this card. I'm going to show you that this design can be actually cut into pieces, and so you could make a Christmas set from this one stamp of 4 entirely different cards. So I'm going to turn this over, and I've used it before, so I'm just going to make sure it's clean and dry. And I'm going to ink up just the area around the date, the 25. So I'm actually using craft ink, and the reason is because I want a really black image without having to emboss. And then I'm going to take that white piece and I'm going to put it down so that, you know, there's plenty of stamp around it, but it doesn't need to cover the whole stamp. But I do need to cover the whole piece of paper. And then I'm just going to put piece of chipboard on top of that to help me rub it down without getting too dirty. I am using craft ink. The reason is I want a really dark image even though I'm not embossing, and so I'm trying to stay as clean as possible. Craft ink does dry slower, and I think this is the biggest challenge with clean and simple card designs, and that is you got to stay clean, you've got to stay aligned, and with cards with multiple layers, you can cover up mistakes in those areas a lot easier. So I'm going to pick this up. Of course, I'm going to get dirty picking it up. And this is what I end up with. I'm going to move the stamp far away, and I wipe down my hands. Now, you can take this to a heat gun if you want to, and the thing is you don't want to mess with craft ink while it's drying because it will smudge. So I think I'm going to pause and go heat set this a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've heat set it, and now I'm just going to adhere it to the cherry cobbler piece of paper. So I'm just going to turn it over, get some adhesive, adhere that down. Okay, I'm just going to adhere that right on to the cherry cobbler with the snail adhesive on the back. Make sure you have re-inkers, and you can use your re-inkers to make any any pearl or any gemstone match your design. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm just going to use a little bit of, and you could use Crystal Effects. Basically any liquid glue would work on this. I'm just going to do 3 dots right there and then put my pearls on top. I have this cool tool that picks up little things and so that you can place it down. I think it's called a quick pick, and it certainly is quick picking up little things for me. I'll just show you. It has a sticky end, and so for that makes it easy for me to pick up stuff. And I'm kind of being really random about where I put these gems. Who knows why? I mean, I don't always have rhyme and reason to how I lay things down, but I know that I personally don't like symmetry, so I will seek random placement. So and I just want you to know that these gemstones are not necessary to complete this card. They could totally not have gemstones. I just want to put one more because I like clusters of 3 if I cluster. Otherwise I'm not going to be happy when it's all over. And I'll probably edit out the time I waste looking for the right size gem. And I'll just put that 3rd gem right there next to its brothers and sisters. So that's what I end up with there. I'm going to put all my gems back in their little container. I'm going to use my stamping dimensionals. And what I love about those liquid dimensional glues like Crystal Effects and like Glossy Accents is they dry really, really fast. So I didn't have to sit here and wait for a long time. You don't want to pile on the glue. You just put like a tiny dot. And literally, if you push that gem down, it dries in under a minute. So there's no overnight wait. The only time you get an overnight wait is if you globbed it on. You know, you have a thick layer. You're trying to get an epoxy look. So I've got the stamping dimensionals on the back there. I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. So I'm just going to lay it on its back and pull out my ribbon. And I cut myself a nice piece of ribbon. And I'm going to put it around the card first. So when you're using the focal point to hold your ribbon down, make sure you put some stamping dimensionals around the area where the ribbon will be. That way it helps to hold it in place and it doesn't slip out from under the bow on the other side. So I'm going to flip it, and it seems to be handling that decision okay. So basically all I did was move the opening to the other side. I don't want to compete with the 25. So I moved the ribbon over. Now I'm going to tie a bow. I'm going to give these a good clip. Alright, and then while you're looking at that, I'm going to take the inside. Remember I told you I had an extra piece of white. It's actually a scrap. My scrap extra white is going on another piece of cherry. And then that whole thing is getting adhered down to the inside of the card. That's your inside, there's your outside. I'm sure I could have done the bow better. But what I'm trying to say with this card is clean and simple. If I wasn't playing around with those gems, this would have literally been a 5-minute card. And I think it's beautiful.